Hey guys, hey, it's Mr. Lindhe here, and today we're gonna do adding and subtracting decimals. So before we go there, first thing I want to review is that there are three decimal places. So there's your decimal, and there's three of them. This one is the tenths, the hundredths, and finally the thousandths. And we will get all the way into problems up to with the thousands involved. So just remember that. That's it. Very important. And we're just going to go do some examples right now. Jump right into it. So first one, 3.42 plus 2.13. And the very first thing that you want to do is you want to line up the decimals. When you're adding or subtracting, you want to line up the decimal places on both numbers so you can add them. So what happens here, so there, and then you notice I'm going to put the 2 and 13 hundredths right underneath, and you notice how the decimals line up. Now you just add it just like anything else. So 2 plus 3 is 5, 4 plus 1 is 5. There's your decimal right there. Let's just bring it straight down. And then 3 plus 2 is 5. And there is your answer. You know, it's simple as that. You don't have to, some people freak out because there's a decimal in the answer. There's no really reason to. I mean, there could be a couple little tricks that we're going to go over here in a second, but it's actually pretty simple. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Here's one of them. So remember when I said line up the decimal, so I'm going to draw 6.8. And then I'm going to put 3.97. You notice how I did line them up. And you notice the 3.7 has a number into the hundredths place, and there's no hundredths place on the 6.8. What you need to do is just go back up to this one, and you can add a 0, because 6.8 and 6.80 are the exact same thing. Okay? So now let's just go on and add them. 0 plus 7 is 7. 8 plus 9, you have 17. Some people may think this is confusing. Nope, you just carry it onto the holes, bring down your decimal, and then 7, so 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10, and there's your answer, 10.77, or 10 and 77 hundredths. Okay? Just remember that if you have non-matching decimal place digits, just add zeros to make it easier. So let's check the next one. I jumped into subtraction here, and if you look at it, you go 6.789, and be very careful because some of you guys like to put the smaller number on top, and we're not dealing with negatives yet. So let's just put the bigger number on top, the one on the left on top, one on the right on bottom. So there we have 6.789 minus 4.567, and subtract just like normal. 9 minus 7 is 2, 8 minus 6 is 2, 7 minus 5 is 2. Bring down the decimal point, and 6 minus 4 is 2. So there's your answer, 2 and 222 thousandths. Okay? Now let's take a look at this one. This one looks a little weird. I'm going to line up the decimals first, and then we'll see what we can do. So 6.258. You notice they're subtracting, but I have nowhere to subtract from the 8. You have to go up and you have to put a 0 there. Okay? Now, some of the things where I've seen some struggling is you have to remember when you regroup. So I can't subtract 8 from 0. I have to go next to the 5 and turn the 5 into a 4. And then this 0 turns into a 10. And now I can subtract. 10 minus 8 is 2. Now I go over to the next, go over to the hundredths digit, and I see 4 minus 5, and I can't do that. Then I go to borrow, and I can't borrow from a 0, so I need to go all the way to the ones place. Turn that 8 into a 7, turn this to a 10, then borrow from the 10, make it a 9, and make that 4 a 14. Okay? So I know a lot of work, but that's how it goes. It's just you have to borrow from the next one that you can and move it on down. Okay, so then 14 minus 5 is 9. Then you go next to the tenths place. 9 minus 2 is 7. Bring down your decimal. And then 7 minus 6 is 1. And there's your answer, 1.792, or 1 and 792 thousandths. Okay? And that's it, folks. We'll be doing some more practice in class. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, guys. Good luck.